been no clarification of this latest shooting in Washington, actually in Maryland, that's 6 miles from the Capitol. Guy shot 6 o'clock this morning, standing on the top step of a bus, shot in the chest. He's in critical condition. They have not established that it is connected in any way to the sniper shooting, but the suspicion is that it probably is. Wouldn't you? That's our suspicion.
They're investigating it as if it is until that fact can be disproved.
But we're not going to speculate. Please welcome to the Imus Morning program. Now from NBC Sports, Mike Breen. Good morning, Mr. Breen.
Morning.
Why are you doing that?
Doing my impression of Sam.
Well, Sam got on the microphone after a bit.
After you yelled at him.
I didn't yell at him. I just pointed out to Sam I couldn't hear him.
What's wrong with you?
I have a cold.
Anything serious?
No.
Oh.
Well, I don't think we're going to come back and right away start it on me, do you?
Why not?
Well, what are you doing now? How do you make a living?
I'm working twice a week up at the cafe in the mornings.
The comments?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it there, but then...
You make some pretty good tips.
You have to be
high
on parole.
spenders down here at the fan.
You have to be on parole to work up at that conversation.
Do you
do anything?
You still with NBC Sports?
Yes, sir.
What do you do there?
Various events that they have.
How is NBC Sports going to function without Hannah Storm?
Somehow you make do.
I'm going to be crippled.
You still have her husband working there.
And what was his
Your
name?
top golf announcer, Dan Hicks, good man.
Yeah, he's pretty good, actually.
He's very good.
Yeah.
You're into golf now?
Oh, no, I'm not, so...
No, I'm training for another marathon.
Oh, you are?
Yep.
Are you going to run it in New York? No.
Yes.
Oh, you are?
Yes.
It's in a couple of weeks, isn't it?
It's a week from Sunday.
So you've done some 20-mile runs.
Yes, I did one.
Oh, you did?
That's all I needed. You're ready.
What did you run it for? How many times have you run it?
Once.
And? What was your time?
4:02.
4:02.
Right. 4 hours and 2 minutes.
Right.
I know it wasn't great.
Did you run backwards?
It was my first time.
Did you have your son on your shoulders or what?
So my wife ran it in 3:30.
Well, she was about 19 at the time.
No, she
correct?
wasn't 19. She
No,
was...
She thought you were behind her.
She was
But
in
this
her
year
early 30s.
This year I win it.
This year you win it?
No, it's not about finishing anymore.
It's about taking it all, isn't it, Mikey? Okay.
I just need to pick my pace up a little bit. I think I'll be okay. If I get the right kind of weather, I think I've got a chance.
You better go train in Kenya for a few months.
Yeah. You need to weigh about... Well, it's good you're doing that, though. It's fun doing it, isn't it?
Oh, it's the best.
Yeah. So, having people pee on you on the Arizona Bridge. That's got to be
Blow
great.
their noses on you.
Oh, that's just got to be great. I just wish I could do that. I just be great. But from America Online, there's some messages here that we share with Breen. I don't know what this means, but the best was Chris Matthews interviewing Bo Dietl about the sniper, and Matthews calling him Bo Derek. Bo responds, that's Dietl, not Derek. You jerk. Did he?
Yeah. He
Go
did. Way to go, Bo. Can you imagine Bo cussing on a TV show?
Take the smirk off your face while talking about the former lead singer of the Dixie Chicks. She lost her hearing as a result of spousal abuse. Well, I didn't know that. She's now married to a multimillionaire. Well, she's married to a guy who won the Texas State Lottery, won $29 million.
All right.
So,
Girl, she's no dope.
Where to go?
Remind you of anyone?
Mrs. Larry King, maybe?
That's riveting TV. Cars at a standstill on the freeway. 1% news, 99% speculation. 3 cable news channels that suck. Boy, you're right about that. Imus, was Charles at William Patterson University on Saturday night? I think I saw him in a tux, and he looked drunk. I don't know. That's enough of that. So what's new with you, Breen?
I just told you. My life is running now.
Should have saw the look on Sid's face when he saw Breen this morning. And then I said to Sid, so you're cool with cutting back to 3 days? He goes, what?
Warner now, he left us. He's back doing the 6 and 11 p.m. news, which was a smart move on
Where
their
he
part.
should be, doing that 11.
That was idiotic for them to take him off of that.
He's
but
still the best.
he is pretty good, isn't he? You know who I also like is Scott Clark, who got Channel 7. Do you know? Is he a nice guy? Or?
Very nice guy.
Is he?
He's tall. Very tall.
He's very good. And that woman who does the news, Diana Williams, she's great. I like her.
What's with all the compliments?
Well, no, the rest of them suck. And Channel 4 is dreadful. And can Michelle Marsh have any more facelifts? Honest to God, her mush looks like a drum kit, doesn't it? Jesus, that is hideous. We make it a sniper thing.
She's got an ass on her like Jumbo Elliott, too. Have you ever seen her from behind?
Yes.
Well,
But then again, they don't put the camera on her butt.
No, they don't.
No, and so why do we even need to know that?
Because that's what we do here.
That's a good point.
It's not today's show.
It isn't, is it?
Or rambling with gambling.
No. What do you think of the sniper deal?
Oh, what does anybody think? I can't imagine living down there.
No.
I don't understand what those people are going through.
Well,
They're afraid.
What do you think of the OJ thing?
They got to catch this guy, huh, Mike?
I think he's got to keep going after those real killers, Mike. You into the World Series?
Yeah, of course.
Gotta help us here a little bit, Mike.
All right, I'll try. Well, I'm just...
All right, Charles?
Well, he's just here. He's a guest. He's just visiting. He just.
Well, I understand that. Why are you here at the station, by
Feels
the way?
like the old days.
You gotta
already.
come back and say hi? Yeah, that's all.
Well, that's not why you didn't drive in here.
I miss you guys.
You missed nothing.
Plain and simple.
You came in to cut some promos or something. You had to be here.
I need you guys.
Mike needs his audio cuts. I feel tired right now.
Do you still do the Knicks games?
Yeah, coming up. The opening game. It's today Tuesday? Yeah,
On
week
the-
from tomorrow.
On the radio, right?
And some TV.
Why would Marv
When
want?
Marv's out.
When he gets arrested.
Why would Marv? Whenever Marv just handcuffs somebody?
He has other obligations, like Monday Night Football.
The anger management. Well, no, he wouldn't be an anger management.
No, when he's getting mug shots taken.
So I'm still doing that.
Oh, okay.
Binding.
And this could be the year.
Right. So, could be the year what?
When did they disband?
The third title in Knick franchise history.
I come down on Sprewell's side this morning in this dispute, by the way.
You do.
Yeah, I think you got to take the guys.
All doesn't matter. It's all going to work out.
I mean, he's been a pretty good. Hasn't he been a pretty good?
He's been a good player, a disciplined player up until now.
Yeah, and I mean, he had one incident where he choked P.J. Carlesimo, which in my view he should have. You know.
But it doesn't matter. Right now,
I don't know if you should have choked him or not, but I don't believe you need the coach getting in your face screaming at you.
it's just a little storm they're going through. But they'll ride it out.
Yeah, the perfect storm is what they're going through.
It doesn't matter. Just a
Kirk
little storm
Thomas
that
smacking his wife
they'll
around.
ride through. Kind of like Riders on the Storm. Riders on the Storm.
Oh no.
You know, that reminds me of a song.
No, you can't come in here and sing after all this time.
Riders on the Storm.
No.
Riders on the Storm. You give Sprewell the ball, and they'll win it all. Riders on the Storm.
That will be fine.
How about Kirk Thomas? Hit me with your best shot.
It is 60 minutes till the hour here now. Please welcome to the Imus Morning program.
Reminds me of a song.
And Charles wants to talk to him, too. My Mercedes, well, not my Mercedes, well, he is my Mercedes-Benz dealer, and Deirdre's. Mike Ostro from Friendly Motors and from Mercedes-Benz of Danbury. Good morning, Mr. Ostro.
Good morning, Don. How are you?
Let me ask you something, Fatso. What?
And by the way, I didn't meet her in Hooters.
He has the only woman service manager of any dealership that we know of, right?
That's correct.
Where did you meet her?
I told you I met her in Scores. I didn't meet her in Hooters.
Sure.
So I want to trade in my Golo wagon and my 94 pickup on this new S600 Sport model,
Yeah.
and I don't want to have to give you any money.
Why are you laughing?
What is funny?
Whatever you want to do, Don, is fine. Whatever you want to do. I'm just trying to clean out the trunk of my car right now to see if I fit.
Aren't you about 6'5"?
6'7".
6'7".
Oh my
So,
Yeah, but I lost 50 pounds, so I'm getting a little slim there, you know?
oh, you bump off one of your salesmen, or? You know, every time I see The Sopranos and I see Gloria, I just know that she once worked for you. So how's your new deal?
She's the service manager.
We have a Friendly Motors commercial scheduled, so we could do it now. Where's your new dealership in Danbury?
The new dealership's on Federal Road in Danbury.
Okay, and
Right in the Danbury Auto Park.
you know, I saw a review in the New York Times for this. It's the new E-Class.
Yep.
Rave review for those cars, but
It's really a nice car. Really, really a nice car. And this year we got the S-Class car is in four-wheel drive, available in four-wheel drive, and the C-Class car is also available in four-wheel drive. So
Why would a person want, say, an S5 or 600 in four-wheel drive? Want to go off-road with it?
people like to drive a car in the snow and in lousy weather, so you're not limited to when you can drive the automobile. You can drive it all year round now.
Ooh, heretofore you couldn't?
Well, it's rear-wheel drive. It's not the greatest in the snow, but, if you got all-wheel drive, you can drive. It's as good as a Jeep or any other SUV that you could drive, except you got a sedan to drive it.
You're paying $150,000 for a car and you can drive it 6 months of the year? You're going to be in prison for this. What are you, nuts?
Yeah, it could be 4 months.
This is a good idea to call in one, then.
This is great.
Yeah, Mike Ostro. Well, how come this one's not called Friendly Motors?
Well, because Danbury hasn't had a dealership in a long time, a Mercedes dealership, and we wanted to identify the area and the dealership. So we want to let everybody know that we're in Danbury, and I thought it would be better to call it Mercedes-Benz of Danbury instead of Friendly Motors.
And how is business?
Business is unbelievable.
So wheels are coming off America. The stock market's in the toilet, and you can't get enough cars. Is that what you're telling me?
I can't get enough cars. Business is excellent. Danbury is just... It's unbelievable the response we've had from everybody, all the customers and the people. It's really been wonderful. It's really doing great. So, and then Friendly does well. So, no, business is really good. Business is good for Mercedes in general.
Frankly, I'm saddened to hear that. Just between you and me.
Sure you are.
Okay, get real on this deal, will you? When's the car going to be in, by the way?
I think next month.
No, I can wait for that. I'll give you time enough to come to your senses.
Yeah, that'll give you a little time to come to my senses.
Okay, thanks, Mike.
You're welcome, Don. Thanks.
Yeah, Mike Ostro from Mercedes-Benz of Danbury and Friendly Motors up in Wappinger Falls. So, Mike Tony Soprano Ostro.
Yeah, but
what?
I think you've reached him, my man, so to speak.
It's 12 minutes till the hour. That's the precursor to the get down.
Shut up.
Tonight, the Anaheim Angels will be in San Francisco to take on the Giants in Game 3 of the World Series. And they're tied at a game apiece. Ramon Ortiz will pitch for the Angels, and Levon Hernandez will pitch for the San Francisco Giants.
Right.
And they'll be there for 3 games. And then... So, of course, should the Giants sweep in San Francisco, they would then win the World Series, wouldn't they?
Yes, they would, as a matter of fact.
But if they don't, well...
If anybody cares.
There's nobody.
They're tying Donahue for low ratings.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
That's how bad it is.
God,
We've been monitoring all morning this situation in Montgomery County, Maryland, which is the scene of this shooting this morning. It was, in fact, a bus driver. They still don't have any a specific link to the person who's killed these 9 people and wounded 3 others. But I guess when they do, they'll announce it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any other information?
No, you just mentioned. The police have now confirmed that a man about 40 years old was in fact the driver of a commuter bus. And he was standing in the doorway of the bus in what they call a layover period, during which a driver can do any little, paperwork items or anything like that before they actually go on their run and start.
Sounds like he was taking a leak. If he was standing in the door. My father used to be a bus driver. That's what they did on a layover.
Could be, I suppose. Right.
Nothing's safe. Nothing is safe in this world.
But he has, as they described, life-threatening injuries and in surgery and in critical condition. And the Montgomery County Police Captain, Nancy Demme, says unless they get information to the contrary, authorities are investigating the shooting as though it is connected with the sniper attacks until they can develop information that would contradict that completely.
If you're here in the New York area, Sid and Jody will be broadcasting live from Hooters today. which means you will have to wash your radio by the time this thing is over. God, I mean, does that sound like a sleazy affair, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Well, listen,
With the wash your radio.
those two
Lysol your radio after it's...
dirtbags there at Hooters junk.
Imus in the morning.
Mom, can I stay up until 3 a.m. and watch TV?
Annoyance and idiotic behavior with Chief Media Watch correspondent Walter Cronkite. Return with me now to October 2nd, 2002, a Wednesday, and the day that the outrage in Washington, D.C. began. Serial terror, and nearly as horrific, serial analysis of serial terror by blood-sucking, predatory, loss-of-life leeches who fasten themselves parasitically to any piece of carnage passing by. Yes, I speak of the national news media, all of them, print, broadcast, or WWW whatever, caught up in a shrieking, giddy frenzy of conjecture, gossip, and chit-chat hearsay, more suited to a 9-year-old sleepover party than coverage of a major news event. All of them are guilty, in the opinion of this old, venerated, aggravated bender of fact, but none so much as the new kids on the block, the 24-hour cable television news outlets, who brought the concept of if it bleeds, it leads, to whole new levels of capricious, irresponsible unreliability. Yes, over the years, here's what science has learned about those who perpetrate serial media crimes, that over 90% are white males. They tend to be intelligent, with IQs in the bright normal range. They are intensely interested from an early age in fetishism, sadomasochistic pornography, and voyeurism, and nearly all of them wind up plugged into an airship somewhere on MSNBC, CNN, or Fox, as either interviewers or interviewees, blowing smoke out their holes about subjects that they are totally unqualified to address. If I see one more former FBI profiler upchucking a stew of fantasized bullshit for some hand-wringing, over-emoting Rick Sanchez, Shepard Smith, or Aaron Brown character, I'm going to buy a rifle. And by the way, did you ever wonder why all these Retta experts are former whatever the hell they were? Most likely, and here I must engage in my own speculation, but most likely because the sons of bitches were all banged out of their professional careers for demonstrating a workplace quirk that labor specialists call utter uselessness. Although certainly the most egregious offenders, the cable outlets have no monopoly on acts of serial media stupidity. I offer this from one of the big New York City dailies, a story that said a reported note from the sniper threatened further attacks if he's not given large amounts of money, added that authorities were tight-lipped about the letter, and then, incredibly, quoted a spokesperson for the Montgomery County, Maryland Police Department as saying, "We are asking that you not put that information out to the public." Am I dreaming? Or hadn't this rag just put that information out to the public one sentence earlier? Who's editing this thing? Joseph Heller? Well, let's just pray that they do apprehend this fellow as quickly as humanly possible, not only for the obvious reasons of preservation of life and limb, but also for the preservation of the rest of our collective sanity, and to prevent as well a wholesale movement by the public to emulate the Beltway shooter and Elvis on a nation's entire population of innocent television receivers. Pitiful. For Media Watch, this is Walter Cronkite. Thank you, and enough.
17 till the hour here in the Imus in the morning program. It really is maddening, some of this. I did see Jerry Nachman, who's going to be on later this morning after Andy Rooney. Boy, these are the times that try men's souls. Nachman defending their coverage on MSNBC when I said, what are we supposed to do, not report what happened? No, you're supposed to report what happened, but that's all you're supposed to do. But putting on these Rena experts who are all just, one just more annoying than the other, with ill-informed, unskilled anchors is troubling, is frankly just troubling.
Well, by the way, we have an election coming up. Going to war with Iraq. What happened to those stories?
And spending all day speculating by putting one nitwit profiler on after another, speculating on one clinical psychologist or criminologist from
Former agent, former this,
just,
former that.
Hey, but look at the numbers we're getting. We got to continue this.
and they're providing this person with a template of how to conduct himself. Pointing out that they usually get caught because they make a mistake, which I pointed out is certainly at the very least instructive for this guy, reminding him not well to
Don't screw up.
But you realize, Sid, that you know somebody who knows him, or you know somebody who knows somebody who knows him.
The sniper?
Yeah.
Oh, there's no question about it, sure. It's probably one guy between Sid and the sniper.
Yeah, it ain't 6 degrees.
8 degrees.
And what's troubling is that you know that there are a number of people who know him, and you know that there are some people who are probably fairly sure that who it is.
What happens if you know him by accident?
And whatever reason, well, if I did know him, I'd be calling Chief Moose. But I mean, I don't know.
Moose is the eye guy here.
I don't know. I wouldn't pretend to know how they can solve this, but I've just.
Well, you can't kill Nachman. It's not as bad as Connie Chung, who was going over the...
I'm not killing Nachman at all.
Ken and Barbie murders again last night. That story's like 2 years old, Connie. Let's go.
I'm not killing Nachman. I mean, Nachman's got to do what he's got to do.
He's the best, Jerry Nachman. I love him.
But
the show's good.
He's got some real morons on these television stations, man. I'm telling you, it's just you can't watch it. I mean, if I'm reduced to
having to get up and go out of the room because of the cringe time deal.
Yeah, I mean, just can't.
I'll
just shut it off and wait until something happens.
O'Reilly had a guy last night. Actually, they were talking about media speculation, and then he just went right to a guest. Is this right? We're doing all this media speculation, and then 2 seconds later, let's talk to media guy Tim about that.
Yeah, but he can't.
Is this right what we're doing here? Don't filibuster.
O'Reilly's got to really. He's got to get over himself. And he's convinced that America's watching his program. And America's not watching his program. So, caution.
Kudlow and Kramer had
a no-spin zone.
Kudlow and Kramer had that genius J.C. Watts on last night. And they were high-fiving each other after the interview was done because they were so impressed with it. They actually high-fived each other on the air. It's pathetic.
That is troubling.
Yeah, that ain't good.
Sid will have sports coming up.
Chicago Mayor Richard J. Daley.
The confrontation was not created by the police. The confrontation was created by the people who charged the police.
There's something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there, telling me I got to beware. I think it's time we stop, children. What's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
Gentlemen, get the thing straight once and for all. The policeman isn't there to create disorder. The policeman is there to preserve disorder.
There's battle lines being drawn. Nobody's right if everybody's wrong. Young people speaking their minds are getting so much resistance from behind. It's time we stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
Imus in the morning. Kelly, you and your assistant in my office now.
Chris Childs a couple days ago went out to Justin's, which is a bar in Chelsea off West 21st Street that P. Diddy happens to own. Talking about P. Diddy. Leaves the bar, starts to head across the street to the parking lot to go to his car, and 4 guys with guns stop him. Chris Childs.
Right.
What? And they rob him. They take his wallet, they take his watch, take a whole bunch of stuff off him. So Childs runs back into Justin's then, to P. Diddy's place, calls the police. Turns out they get all 4 of these guys. 2 of these guys were trying to hide in the tunnels of a subway, and 2 of these guys were running down the street. They apprehend all 4 suspects. Childs gets his stuff back. And after all that, Childs, the next day at work, finds out that he's too fat and he's been suspended by the New Jersey Nets. That is a rough day. How about that?
That's tough.
Robbed at gunpoint one night, and the next day on the job, you're suspended because you're too fat.
Hey, fatso, get out.
Yeah.
Well, they were former Knicks, who robbed them.
That's right. Probably so. He was on the Knicks for a short time.
They were looking for talent.
Starts to make you wonder if every single job place started firing people, or suspending people, I should say, because they were too fat. How many guys would still be working at WFAN?
Well,
let me pose to you this way, Iman. How many guys would not be working at WFAN?
well, I don't.
Well, just take a guess.
Well, why would there be a weight requirement to talk
just
on the
in case
radio?
there was.
Well, there would be quite a few. Wouldn't there?
There'd be a lot of unemployed fat bastards out there.
Yeah. So, that would be unfortunate.
It would, wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to stir up trouble, Sid?
No?
Sounds like it.
No, that's
Yeah,
not.
it does.
No.
Who won the game last night?
The Angels won last night. I heard Mike and Chris talking yesterday about a low-scoring affair. That wasn't the case. The Angels scored double-digit runs. That's the second game in a row now. The Angels have scored double-digit runs in that series.
And left 15 men on base.
That's right. They could have scored 20 runs last night.
Right.
Listen, you have to say one thing about the Angels.
What's that?
Against the Yankees, they scored runs at will.
Yeah.
In series number 2 against Minnesota, they scored a lot of runs. This has been a team that has been scoring a lot of runs all postseason long. They've been a very exciting baseball team.
Yeah.
This is a high-scoring team. But
You are really such a moron. It's frightening.
Why
I don't know.
Scoring in San Francisco is not that hard.
You're just a
in-shape athlete.
You are such an idiot.
Well, why are you saying that?
I don't know. It's just
There's got to be a reason.
just every cliche on the planet comes out of your mouth.
Hit one to me, Barry.
Yeah. They've stranded a
How'd
few.
it go at Hooters yesterday?
Oh, that was a great night. I wish you would come down for one of those things, you know?
That will not happen.
The girls were clamoring for you.
I'm sure they were.
Yeah. I will say this, though. It was a good time at Hooters yesterday.
Yeah.
But, once again, and I hate to say this because we deal with these people every single month. We'll be back again in 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
They did not fly in the grade A talent. I mean, you would think when Sid Rosenberg shows up at Hooters, how many times does that happen?
10 o'clock on a Tuesday morning at Hooters.
Oh, come on, seriously. When you get a big show from WFAN showing up at Hooters, don't you think they can fly in some of the Clearwater girls, the Atlanta girls, the Fort Lauderdale girls, the California
You're telling
girls?
me here in New York City we can't get anybody attracted to work at Hooters?
I was disappointed with the crop yesterday. I thought that they could have done a better job.
I'm sure the girls were all thrilled with you.
Yeah, and your quality fan base.
They lined up for you.
God.
Oh, great Sid today. Lovely.
Really, you are so delusional. It's just frightening.
Hank Aaron breaking the all-time home run record.
Right.
They also had Pete Rose, right? He was there last night.
Lou Gehrig.
Lou Gehrig making his farewell speech. Jackie Robinson when he broke into baseball.
Willie Mays.
Willie Mays, exactly. I actually have a list of the top 10 in order.
We've got
which I'll give
Number
to you.
2, David Cohn stroking his monkey in the
That will be fine. By the way, the San Francisco Giants won the game last night, 4-3. That series tied at 2 games each, and so they'll play again. I guess this evening.
I've got the list in order if you want it, I
Give them to me quickly.
Number 10, quickly, is Nolan Ryan pitching his 7th career no-hitter. Number 9, Kirk Gibson's pinch hit home run sends L.A. on its way to the World Series upset. Number 8, Joe DiMaggio, his 56-game hitting streak. Number 7, Ted Williams, the last man to post a 400 batting average. Number 6, Pete Rose passing Ty Cobb. Number 5, Lou Gehrig's speech, which you mentioned, I-Man. Number 4, Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa, that magical summer. Number 3, Jackie Robinson, the first African-American major leaguer. Number 2, Hank Aaron breaks Babe Ruth's record. And number 1, Cal Ripken breaking Lou Gehrig's streak with 2,131 consecutive games.
Well, of course, there's nothing more subjective than a list like this.
Really,
But,
yeah.
Who
Yeah.
voted?
I mean, I can think of several. I can think of several memorable moments that surpass some of those on there.
What do you got? You got one
Oh,
more?
Don Larson,
Perfect game, World Series, yeah. How could that not be on there?
Carlton Fisk, and that Bucky Dent.
The home run, yeah.
Those 2 homers.
Sure, absolutely. How could that not be on there? Oh, that's true.
I don't know.
Oh, this list
How
stinks.
about Barry Bonds hitting 73 home runs?
Yeah.
With the Bobby Thompson home run.
How about the Bobby Johnson home
Shot
run?
heard around the world off Ralph Franco.
Yeah,
How
how
could
could that not be? How could the Bobby Thompson home run not be one of the
that
most?
list?
I mean,
Who was
that's
polled on this? Who was polled?
It was MasterCard.
contemporary.
people like
First time
Rich
long-
Ackerman and Minko and Sid.
First time, long time.
Sid Rosenberg.
No, I like the ones you came up with, I-Man, but of course, I also think, of course, 86 should be there.
Well, it apparently will be safe now to go to the Rob Bartlett show. Rob Bartlett and Bartlett's at the Maryland Theater in Hagerstown, Maryland. They'll be there this Saturday night, and they'll be at Bananas in Hasbrook Heights, New Jersey next Saturday night. Tomorrow, we are going to Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm going to get on the Adjet.
What time are you leaving?
Is this Chief Moose Live? Oh, no. No, it's not Chief Moose Live. It's last night.
Okay.
What time should I be ready for the plane tomorrow, I-Man?
Well, we're leaving today around noon.
But you're
I have to
going
go see
tomorrow.
I have to go see Dr. Corvin this morning. Dr. Corvin doesn't know I'm coming over, but I am. And she has to take a look at my throat because in 30 years of doing this, I've never had a throat like this. I don't know what's happened. But I was reading Buffalo Woman to Wyatt Imus last night, and it got where I could barely even hear myself. And I didn't, and he was leaning against my shoulder, and I didn't realize that the little fart had gone to sleep. So
Aww, a Don Imus moment.
the little bastard was asleep, and I'm
Like
so
your old
weak.
girlfriends.
You're sitting there struggling.
The most way.
I know it's my kid, and who wants to hear about it? I mean, you don't want to hear about somebody's kid. You just don't. It's so stupid. But he really is a great kid. Man. Last night he was sitting getting, Mark came over and he was cutting his hair. And his little haircuts, he doesn't have haircuts like the other little kids at his school. Because they pay $6 for their haircuts, and he pays $200 for his. So that's one of the reasons. Or whatever. You know what I'm saying? He gets his haircut at Frederick Fakai, and the other kids go to Bob's around the corner with a barber pole.
Of course.
So, at any rate, he looks at me and he says, "I don't need no effing nanny."
No.
Okay.
No, he didn't.
No. Only heard me say that.
Oh, my God.
He thinks it's cute whenever people come over to...
Oh, my God.
Oh, man.
Does your hairdresser keep clippings of your hair? Because I know Elvis's hair clippings are going on sale on Monday for $10,000, starting at $10,000.
Right.
So you watch your barber.
No, we have one of those dust busters. We suck it out. That's pretty much it. 13 till the hour. Anything else going on, Sid?
Well, actually, on Real Sports on HBO, there's going to be an NFL player that's going to admit that he played as a homosexual. Spent 9 years in the league. Played on 5 different teams, man. Drafted 35th overall by the 1991 Green Bay Packers. Went to Oregon State. Actually played on the Falcon team that went to the Super Bowl 33. And he's going to admit that he had this problem. He could barely live with himself because he was in the National Football League and he was gay.
Why is it a problem?
Well, the problem was, I guess he wanted to tell everybody, but he couldn't. And Sterling Sharp, who was his teammate with the Packers and is on ESPN, said it's a good thing he didn't say anything to anybody because he would have been eaten up alive. You cannot admit that you're gay and play in the National Football League.
Why not?
That's a shame, really.
Why not? Because these guys are a bunch of tough guys. They don't want to have it.
No. Homophobes, you're saying?
Oh, maybe they are. I'm sure that this guy's not the only one who's gay that played in the NFL. He's the only guy that admitted it. And by the way, I'm not going to give him credit for admitting it because he's admitted it now that he's out of the league.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a guy who's still playing step up and say, you know what? Look at me. I'm gay and I'm happy.
Why not? Shut up. Keep your mouth shut. Who cares if you're gay?
Well, you're just trying to break down some
walls. Keep it to yourself. Don't make people uncomfortable. Don't shove it down our throats. Just play the game and get the hell out. How about that?
Well, it's a sensitive approach. I
Sure. Just win, baby.
Yeah, just win. I mean, we don't care what you are. All right, 11 minutes till the hour. And about 100 other radio stations around the country. And we're sponsored by Mohegan Sun, which is up in Uncasville, Connecticut. It's a destination resort, and 125 acres, about almost the exact size of Camp David, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And also by Dodge, Get Somewhere, Grab Life by the Horns, and by Cross Pens, the official pen of the Imus Morning program. We're going to talk with Pete Williams from NBC News in a minute, and then Cliff Van Zandt, who was the only former FBI agent who I saw on television didn't appear to be a moron.
That's right.
And didn't appear to be speculating to the point where they sounded asinine.
No, in fact, he declined to do so, actually.
Yeah.
Stuck to the facts.
So anyway, we'll talk to old Cliff here in a minute. And we'll also talk to Pete Williams now. Good morning, Pete. How are you?
Good morning, Mr. Imus.
So what I thought was strange, and maybe you can talk about it, maybe not, was that these two people, if these indeed are the people that they appear to be, the people who were killing these other people, were so elusive in being able to...
On it. Muhammad registered it at a Camden motor vehicle office. He and 17-year-old John Lee Malvo, of course, taken into custody yesterday morning while they slept, which you have found hard to believe, but that, and as has everybody, that they were found asleep simply at a Maryland rest stop. And
must be difficult to be a cop in this particular situation, because you just really want to torture them.
Oh, man, no kidding. And they just...
Well, in some cases, unfortunately, cops do when they shouldn't, but
yeah, but
they should torture these guys. They should have shot them in the car.
Play that CD for them in the cell.
Sure, leave them alive and you simply,
I wasn't really gonna play it real loud.
No.
Now, I mean, you didn't really.
I'm screwed.
Yes.
All right.
Absolutely.
No sleep till New York.
That's exactly right.
Standing in the station.
3 minutes out.
Shoot me.
Well, if I had money, I tell you what I'd do.
But we've been fairly successful here. It's run by Brian Mahoney. Man, those other guys, man, the people at this radio station, I can just say this, they don't miss a beat.
Detail-oriented.
And I ask for a bunch of stuff when I go on the road that I don't really want. In fact, I don't want it all. Like, I don't care if there's a buckwheat pillow there. I don't care if there's a sound machine. I have my own sound machine. I don't care if there's Dasani water. I don't care if there's stuff to clean the glasses and on and on and on. I don't care about any of it.
You don't even care if there's a toilet. I've seen you just pee right in the corner. That was in the old days, of course.
Yes, I was. But I decided long ago to ask for these various, they call them whatever these, like with rock and roll bands, they call them backstage writers, that kind of, a thing of M&M's, take all the red ones out, that kind of,
right.
Just foolishness, And so, but they, now my latest is, past couple of years, I haven't put in one of these Quentin treadmills. Who's the company about them now, Charles?
Oh, jeez.
The Stairmaster people?
Think of it.
Quentin?
No, who bought Quentin? It was, for crying out loud.
Well, they make Stairmaster?
Yeah. Was that it?
Who is it?
No. Is it just Stairmaster? I mean, was it? No.
What the hell's the name of the company?
I don't know. Can't think of it.
Oh, we're not going to say anything funny until we think of it.
And that may not be incentive enough.
And even then.
That's weird, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
That you can't remember something?
No, that we can't remember something that should be obvious to both of us.
Yeah, I mean, I got
Stairmaster. Stairmaster bought Quentin. That was it. Stairmaster.
Well,
and it's now the Stairmaster.
Yeah, Stairmaster's a great company.
Yeah.
The local sponsors here in New York, here in Raleigh, Durham, are D&J Mortgage, Drees Homes, Design Gallery Homes by Drees, Game Day Sports Shop, Auto Wash Express, Embassy Suites, and there's still places almost full of people. It was completely full, 600-700 people here all morning, and each paid $10 to get in, so two people are scammed their way in. And 100% of the money is going to the Junior Achievement and to the Duke Children's Hospital. We were talking during the local break about Mike Krzyzewski, and have I ever met him before? I guess I have, huh?
Yes.
I know.
Right here you did.
I did? Okay. I know I've talked to him several times, but what an impressive, genuine, and my God, I bet he gives a great speech too, don't you think? I mean,
there's just no question.
Like maybe like these corporations, that kind of deal?
Yeah.
Oh, what a genuinely decent human being, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was very nice of him to come over.
Sure was.
And his book called Leading with the Heart, which was already an enormous bestseller, that's now out in paperback. I don't know what the paperback sells for, but at Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com, you can. So what difference does it make? It's a terrific book, and you can buy it. You should buy Andy Rooney's book, too, by the way.
Yeah.
Or that Common Nonsense. Mm-hmm. That's a funny book, isn't
it? I'm telling you, it is fantastic.
Anyway, I don't know Coach K very well at all, but I really like the guy. Yeah. And I can see why people like him. Jesus, God. Anyway, it's time for the national news, world events, all that sort of thing. And it's just all the sniper business this morning, except we do have this Moscow theater hostage situation, which I apologize for my initial reaction, which I thought was amusing, because so you have a country that have toilet paper, these people got no business going to a theater. So that was my initial thought.
I understand.
That was before they started murdering them.
Right.
And then suddenly it's not funny anymore.
Correct.
So
Rob knows what it's like to die in a theater.
Yeah, but at least they have toilet paper in the men's room.
Right. Well, speaking of that, Rob will be at the Maryland Theater in Hagerstown, Maryland tomorrow night. And they apprehended these two suspects, one exit away from, because I pointed out to Rob before they caught these guys, I said, how good of an idea is it to be performing at a theater in Maryland while we have these people or person or whoever it is going around killing people?
Bob Hope went to the front lines. Very good.
How about what did Orson Welles do?
Anyway.
What would Marlon Brando do?
What would Yul Brynner do?
I get
it. What is the latest we have here, Chuck?
Maryland Governor Paris Glendening says the death penalty is an appropriate punishment for, in fact, 2 recent crime cases that have shocked his area's residents and, in fact, the country. He told WMAR television in Baltimore today that whoever carried out the D.C. area sniper attacks and the drug retaliation arson that killed a Baltimore family of 7 both should pay the highest price for their crimes.
Well, I believe that the death penalty is appropriate policy for the most horrendous of crimes. And the only issue is making sure that there's no question about the guilt. And if there's no question about the guilt, these are the type of crimes, these 2 that I just mentioned, that really, I think, are appropriate for the death penalty.
The governor says the cases would not be affected by his state's moratorium on the death penalty. Glendening halted executions in Maryland, while the University of Maryland concluded a study on whether death penalty decisions might be racially biased, but he says these cases would not be affected by that moratorium. Whatever happened to the white van? Authorities now believe there simply never was one, and the only vehicle used by the snipers was, in fact, this blue Chevrolet Caprice.
Well, when you go around today, all you folks here and everybody else, notice how many white vans you see.
Notice how many white vans, in fact, with ladder racks you see.
I mean, they're just so, whenever something happened, obviously you would see one driving away.
Yep.
I had me a white van.
Oh, no.
Made a few modifications to her.
I'll bet you did.
Back seat folded down real good there, too. Cut me a 3-inch hole in that son of a bitch.
You're just such an idiot. This is Scotty, you stupid. You can't make up how stupid you are.
Hi, man. John Allen Muhammad bought this car last month for $250 in New Jersey. The name of the car dealer, believe it or not, was Sure Shot Auto Sales. That is absolutely the truth in Trenton, New Jersey.
Come on down. We got a 1990 Chevy Caprice for you. It's a one owner. He was a straight shooter. 147,000 miles, but this car's a killer, folks. I'd say automatic transmission, power steering, AM, FM, and police scanners.
That's the deal. There is. You were speaking about the situation in Russia, I-Man, and there's no solution in sight for this standoff, which is continuing in the Moscow theater. A popular musical was interrupted this past Wednesday night when these 50 Chechen rebels came in, shot their way in, took the entire theater hostage. Lou Lloyd is an actor in a musical production also running in Moscow, and he says there's a special connection between his theater company and the performers being held hostage.
That cast happened to be one of the casts that visited us during our rehearsal period. So we know some of the people involved there. And of course, it's a terrible tragedy. Our hearts go out to them. In fact, we dedicated our performance to them this evening.
Oh, you idiot.
Oh, for God's sake.
Jesus, God,
Man,
shut
that's
up.
the worst.
We dedicated them. Yeah. These people are going to be shot on us.
That goes back to Tony Orlando saying, this one's for you, Bobby Darin, for crying out loud. The rebels are holding as many as 500, maybe more, hostage. They've killed one, and they're demanding Russian troops withdraw from Chechnya, and they've set a 1-week deadline for the Russians to accomplish that. The FBI says the al-Qaeda terrorist network may be targeting now this country's railroad system. Agencies from state police to the Department of Transportation have now been alerted to that possibility.
Wouldn't have to do much to Amtrak. It's already running into each other and falling off the tracks, and they're never on time. And what the hell are they going to do? They'll screw it up more than it is now.
Amtrak's Kathleen Cotillion says the railroad is responding to the threat, nevertheless, by taking countermeasures.
It's a mixture of things that have been in place since September 11th and then heightening those measures.
Amtrak says ground and aerial surveillance of vulnerable spots is already routine. Customers may notice increased security personnel if you go to the stations to ride the trains.
You know, one time, right after 9/11, I got, I'm not making fun of, maybe I am a little bit.
Yeah.
But I got a call from somebody from Amtrak saying that maybe when we flew kids out to the ranch, maybe they already have cancer. They don't want to get on a plane, just going to be flown into a building. So maybe, so the person, was the head of Amtrak, I forget the guy's name, said that they would be happy to take kids up to the ranch on the train. And I said, well, that's very nice. And I thought you could simply go to wherever, get on the train, and go to New Mexico. Well, no. No, that's not the way that works.
Not at all.
I mean, it's the most screwed up mess.
Convoluted routing and stuff.
And now they run these trains because the trains coincidentally come right through the ranch. So half of the trains are passenger cars, and the other half are freight cars. And having once worked on a railroad, did you know that? I used to work.
Yes, I did.
I was a freight brakeman.
Were you hanging off the sides of boxcars?
You as you go along, you have to stop and switch cars out and all that sort of thing. So, which would mean is you'd be sitting in there getting jerked around in your sleeper car there for Amtrak. But you could, for example, get on in New York. You'd have to go to Chicago, and you lay over there for 3 days, and then it's a nightmare.
It ain't gonna happen.
No, they could shut it down. That's the end of it. 16 after the hour, we got a bunch of spots to do. I got way behind, and I screwed up, and I promised them that I would never do that again, but I keep doing it. So.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't, but I did. So what? Somebody gave me a baseball bat. This is custom made for Don Imus, professional model. And then it has a little bullet designation carved in the bat, and it says Sid's head here.
Okay. Are you going to use that when you get back here?
No, I like Sid.
Yeah, we like Sid.
It's a North Carolina Jew thing.
Yeah.
They get all the holidays.
Yeah, we do get all the holidays, don't we?
Get him right between the horns if you can.
Well, how do Jews get any more holidays than Christians?
They do, don't they,
They
Sid?
get their holidays and our holidays.
Right. I'd like to see Sid working on Christmas this year.
I worked on Christmas last year.
You did?
Well,
Absolutely.
That was different.
Yeah.
You were a freelancer.
Right, now it's a different story.
Right.
So you won't be working Christmas Day?
I didn't say that. Odds are I probably will. By the way, I have this fuzzy feeling about North Carolina because not only have you mentioned all their great sports teams and you had Coach K on there before, but one of my favorite movie scenes of all time is watching Susan Sarandon get slammed on a breakfast table. And you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. One of the great movie scenes of all time.
She's a skank. Who cares? They should slam her with a baseball bat. she's a dog. Filthy, self-hating American skank.
Big fans for Bernard there.
She looks like Imus, with a pair of breasts on, for God's sake.
It's funny.
Well, but she's a woman.
She did wear a cowboy hat a lot during that movie, now, didn't she?
You have food all over your mouth. You are sickening. You're like
You're
like a mental patient.
Are you sure it's food? Can you wipe it off?
That'll be fine, Janice.
Sorry. Tom Jones likes his panties used and abused, not in plastic baggies. Back in the 60s, when women first began to chuck their underpants at him as he crooned and dry-humped the stage, Jones says the whole panties ordeal was real, and now the ritual lacks a certain warmth and moisture. His fans these days are way too hygienic. They bring along plastic bags with their underwear in it. Has nothing to do with enthusiasm anymore. People are not ripping their panties off and throwing it at them.
Not ripping off the pens and throwing it at.
Opposite.
Hello, Tommy.
She's an old lady.
Where's Tom Jones kidding? All right, come on, hurry up.
All right. Mike Tyson appears in this month's issue of Details magazine. The ear-nibbling, trashy, and abusive ex-heavyweight champ says he has to be evil in order to make a living. He says, quote, "No one's going to buy Mike Tyson as George Bernard Shaw."
That's right, they're not. I didn't even know who George Bernard Shaw is.
Right. Tyson admits that even though he's gotten out of hand now and then, he is a really nice, humble fellow.
He is.
He says, quote, "Sometimes I'm hanging out with beautiful white girls and I forget that I'm a nigger and talk crazy."
Oh, my God.
He said that.
You're going to make me forget it right now, Janet.
And maybe they forget he's a convicted rapist.
Shut up, Bernie. I'm working here. Hey, Janet.
The opening bell of the New York Stock Exchange.
No, that's my heart.
Sponsored by Union State Bank. Do business with us, do better with us, they say. So, Union State Bank.
Hey, Janet.
Yes, sir.
I warned you.
How old are you?
Why do you care?
I don't.
I got a Mr. Dinky the size of a log.
Fantastic. Bring it on.
Janice is supposed to be doing Mike Tyson. If you want to try to play along here.
Okay.
Dope.
Nibble on my ear a little bit, Mike.
It's not your ear I'm going to be nibbling on, I'll tell you that right now. Although I may be looking for quite a while to find something else to bite on.
Funny guy.
That will be fine.
I want to bite your hiney.
That'll be... No.
And then punch in the teeth.
No, you're Mike Tyson, not Marv Albert. It's 30 minutes after the hour here in the Imus-Oct program, and all of you get out of the studio.
Oh, yes.
I am Imus in the morning, and we are in Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina, as I mentioned, at the Embassy Suites Hotel, which is a gorgeous place. I was just shocked. Because if you travel around the country, well, as our next guest can tell you, there are a lot of places you stay where you can't take your socks off in the room. So, anyway, please welcome from Fox Sports, JB, James Brown.
Okay.
Good morning, Mr. Brown.
Don, it was good to talk with you again, partner. And let me tell you, a major sense of relief on this end, Don, with the suspect snipers in custody now, so things can go back to normal. You know, this is the county that I'm...
The general manager paid 50 the buzz, and really has just done a terrific job, and so did Ann King. And the engineering has been just fabulous, really fabulous. John Hardy is the engineer. So they did a great job. Fred Imus's appearance is sponsored by your Tri-State Jeep dealer, and also this Fred very big down here with the Goober crowd.
A lot of Jeep fans.
The NASCAR report is sponsored by Cross, sponsors Rusty Wallace's number 2 car, and by your Tri-State Dodge dealers. Get somewhere. Grab life by the horns. Please welcome to the Imus-Oct program my brother Fred and Sid Rosenberg. Good morning, Fred.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm fine, and good morning, Sid.
Good morning, I-Man.
Now, Fred, you've been making these football picks. Well, your lump picked them last week, right?
I'll be picking them this week.
Okay. Why?
Because the lump's kind of gone.
Where is the lump?
It's in my pants now.
In the back.
I can actually have that one.
Yeah, the lump's supposed to be at the front, Fred. So, well, why don't you pick the games, and then we'll... Sid, you want to comment on these picks?
Oh, sure. I'm looking forward to that.
All right. Here we go, Fred.
Kansas City over Oakland.
Stupid.
Why is that stupid?
Well, it's just on the surface. There's no way the Chiefs are going to beat the Raiders. The Raiders have lost 2 in a row. They're bound to rebound at some time.
3 in a row Monday.
What's that?
It'll be 3 in a row on Monday morning.
Well, based upon your record, Fred, who might argue with you?
Denver. How about Denver over New England?
Well, they get dumber by the pick.
Well, I think that's a good pick. I mean, I like New England, but man, they haven't looked good lately, Sid.
That's right, which tells you one thing. They've lost 3 in a row. They're Super Bowl champions. They're also bound to rebound, and this is the perfect week.
Yeah, against Denver, they're going to rebound?
That's right.
How about Atlanta over New Orleans? That could be a tough game.
Well, that'll never happen. Even I know that.
Really?
Well, it said.
The Saints are 6-1, Fred. They've got the best record in the National Football League.
Okay, I'll be changing that. I'm going to take New Orleans over Atlanta. I'll be changing that pick.
What's
and
the
then
point?
I have Pittsburgh beating Baltimore.
Well, I don't know.
See, Ray Lewis is hurt.
Right.
Bruce Bettis is hurt for Pittsburgh.
Right.
So, anything could happen in that game. It's probably my toss-up pick.
What did Ray do? Nick himself taking his knife out to stab somebody else? What's the point spread in the Kansas City-Oakland game?
20.
What? Well,
I don't know what the point
you were
spread
close.
is.
You were close. It's 3.
3?
Right there.
Kansas City's favored by 3?
No, that would be incorrect, Fred.
Oh, then it'd have to be Oakland's favored by 3.
You're pretty bright.
Okay, let's review Fred's hideous picks.
All right, here we go.
Kansas City over Oakland, Denver over New England, Pittsburgh over the Ravens, and New Orleans over Atlanta.
Right.
We just have a minute left here.
Okay, then I'll be picking the Napa 500 down there in Atlanta.
How do you
race this weekend?
You ought to be picking grapes in Napa.
Probably will be.
Well, Bobby Labonte won this race last year.
I'll be picking Mark Martin to win this race.
Mark Martin, all right.
He holds a track record down there, which probably doesn't mean anything.
What the hell is wrong with you people in North Carolina anyway, watching these cars go around in circles for 5 hours a day and enjoying it? What's wrong with these people?
Oh, well, it's just as valid as watching a bunch of 300-pound meatheads jacked up on steroids pound each other.
Yeah, well, what about somebody hitting a ball across a net? I mean, it's all the same. It's all the same.
Somebody tried to ride a bull for more than 10 seconds.
You only have to ride them 8, Sid.
Oh.
Well, all right. So Fred is picking Mark Martin.
Yep.
What's surprising is that we actually... how did you know where this race was, Fred?
I do some research.
Oh, Jesus, God.
It's a 1.5 mile track, by the way.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Well,
it's a good job, Fred. You know, the people out there, they are Blue Devil fans, right, I-Man?
Yes.
That's Blue Devil country, isn't it?
Yes.
You people love the Blue Devils, don't you? On the way out, can I just play something quickly for the lovely people of North Carolina who I've grown to love today?
Yes.
For the Blue Devil fans.
Okay.
It's only 30 seconds. This goes out to you.
30 seconds left to go. To Jimmy Black on the right side. To Michael Jordan back on the right. Over to Jimmy Black. Black holding high, goes to Doherty. Doherty in the double team, gives it back to Black with 20 seconds left to play. Goes back to Michael Jordan, jumper from out on the left. Good! 63, 62, 13, 12, 11. Georgetown with one timeout. Fred Brown looking. Oh, way to Worthy. Worthy fired. The Tar Heels are going to win the national championship.
So take that, North Carolina.
All right, thanks, you guys.
All right.
Oh, my God! They killed
Imus in the morning.
It's a secret.
Only you will ever know that the BMW you've always wanted is a certified pre-owned BMW.
Auto Body Express, sponsored by Nikon. The Auto Body Express website is up now. Man, they've got some great stuff.
Yeah, they do.
Fred and Bob are now running the Auto Body Express. I don't have much to do with it other than signing the checks. But, man, I mean, they've got great stuff. You can order online, autobodyexpress.com, or they open at 8:30 this morning, 1-800-272-1957. But that Fort McHenry shirt is great That's a great T-shirt.
How can you not have one of those?
It's a replica. It's like the America jacket. It's a replica of the flag that flew over Fort McHenry when Marvin Gaye wrote the Star Spangled Banner or whoever.
Right.
But then there's a whole bunch of cowboy T-shirts. I got it. The America jacket and drifter jackets. It's a great. And when you buy any food product, coffee, salsa, chips, 100% of the profits, after-tax profits, go to the Imus Ranch for Kids with Cancer. So
great.
Not the stuff from the clothing thing. If I didn't have a line of credit to retire, maybe we might make that arrangement too. But the food products, 100% of that money goes to the Imus Ranch for Kids with Cancer. But the website looks great.
Yeah, it does. Stuff looks good on it. I mean, it really.
And whether you buy from the Auto Body Express or Polo or wherever you buy from, it's a good way to shop this year. But man, neat stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, it really reproduced beautifully on this thing.
They got great candles that smell great, and they're soy-based candles that are ecologically appropriate, and they're neat looking. They got neat looking little Christmas. They got great stuff. Anyway, Sid, so the Auto Body Express, check it out at autobodyexpress.com or call them at 1-800-272-1957 and do some of your Christmas shopping. Great hats, great mugs, fat loser lion weasel hats. So we're very happy here at the radio station because the Angels won, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. Dog must have been absolutely sick. Could you imagine him in the 6th inning on Saturday night as the Giants were erecting the podium inside their locker room, getting ready to break open the champagne and celebrate a World Series championship?
They actually had photographs. They actually showed pictures of the champagne, didn't they?
Yeah, they showed pictures of the champagne. They were erecting the podium inside the Giant locker room, ready to interview the Giant players as World Series champions.
Not so fast. How'd that work out?
Not well. 27 hours later, it is the Anaheim Angels, your champions, and instead just a summer of disappointment for one Christopher Russo. But the guy you got to talk to today is Mike Francesa, who's coming on your program in about an hour. Isn't that right, I-Man?
Yes.
Two things. First of all, you're bringing him on to talk about The Sopranos, which nobody cares about. The show's awful. The show's done. Tony has become the most unlikable, despicable character in television. I used to like Tony because even though he would whack you on one hand, he was kind of charming on the other hand.
Yeah.
He's lost all his charm. He's just a disgusting animal. So the show has gone down the tubes, and I don't even think people care about it that much. Last night, I was going off it. I was bored by it. But secondly, yesterday, Emmitt Smith broke Walter Payton's all-time rushing record for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
He's got almost 17,000 yards. He broke Walter Payton's record by 17 yards. I believe Emmitt Smith is one of the top 5 running backs in the history of the game.
Sure.
Mike and Chris call him a compiler. They say, no, that's not the case. He's played for a lot of years, so he's put together a lot of yardage. Meantime, this guy's won Super Bowls. He's won Super Bowl MVPs. He's had countless 1,000-yard seasons, countless 100-yard games. He's the all-time leading rusher in the history of the National Football League.
Good.
How could you not put him in the top 5 running backs of all time?
So you call Francesa an idiot?
No, I'm not saying that. I tend to agree with Mike 99.99% of the time, and he knows his stuff. But in this case, he's wrong. He's just flat out wrong. Wrong.
Wrong about what
With
now?
a capital R.
About putting him in the top 5.
How do you not put Emmitt Smith in the top 5?
What difference does it make?
Well, it makes a big difference. You got to give the guy his due credit. He deserves respect.
It's clearly what it is racism.
Yeah.
Well, who does friends have they have in the top 5?
Well, he's got,
Walter Payton.
Walter Payton.
Jim Brown.
Well, listen, Jim Brown, you could put number 1. I'm fine with that.
Gail Sayers, probably.
Gail Sayers had, the guy had 3-4 years. The guy only played in the league for 6 years. Okay. You're talking about a guy at Emmitt Smith who's every single year has been terrific.
O.J. Simpson, maybe.
O.J. Simpson. Who would you put in your top 5?
I don't know.
Would you put Jim Brown there?
Yeah.
O.J.
Yeah.
Earl Campbell.
No.
Eric Dickerson.
Yeah.
Barry Sanders.
Yes.
That's 4 guys already, young man. Well, that's it. You've almost got Emmitt Smith out of the top 5 yourself.
No, he's my 5th.
So you did have him in the top 5.
Yeah.
So you agree with me that Mike Francesa is 1,000% wrong in this case. 1,000% incorrect. Just wrong.
Give me a couple more names.
Tony Dorsett.
No.
I gave you the top guys.
Frank Gifford.
Frank Gifford?
Yeah, I know. John Riggins.
John Riggins? You can go with him if you'd like, sure. Any way you cut it down, by the way, here. Is he coming out to a top 5 back?
Ricky Williams.
Who's that?
Oh, whatever.
Ricky Waters?
Ricky
Want to
Martin.
go with him? I think I've proven my case.
Who's the guy who plays for Miami?
Ricky Williams.
Yeah.
Good job. Been in the league for 3-4 years.
All right. Yeah, I understand.
Anyway, Terrell Davis, any name you come up with at this point, you're going to come to the conclusion that Emmitt Smith is certainly a top 5 back.
I'm not sure about that.
Imus in the morning. You know, it seems these days, businesses large and small are asking their employees to dress more appropriately.
Man facing more than 10 years behind bars for killing a chicken as part of having sex with it. Apparently, the 32-year-old was convicted of stealing the chicken to have sex with it. The Times reports he admitted to police he took the animal to have pleasure with it in a motel, and it died in the room. He tossed the remains in a ditch where they were found later on. Looking at 10.5 years in prison.
For killing the chicken?
Or stealing the chicken,
And
or
having
both.
sex with the chicken.
Or sex with the chicken. Maybe he would have been better off just choking his chicken. No doubt. We don't know that he wasn't choking his chicken because the chicken obviously died during rough sex.
Right.
So he could very well have been choking the chicken.
The poor chicken.
Right.
It's a stupid chicken.
Well, no.
Not a stupid
It's an
chicken.
animal.
It's a potential sandwich, for God's sake.
No, it's one of God's
little
creatures, you moron.
It's an animal that we produce that we keep alive just to eat.
I know, and he was using it for. Yeah, well, no, we don't think he was. I don't know. I mean, we don't know what he was doing.
Why did he have to go to the motel to have
That
sex
was
with
Charles'
the chicken?
question. How do you check in a motel with a chicken? Sid?
They want to show the chicken a little class. Obviously, Chicken's not stupid.
Wine and dine the chicken.
I actually knew a guy one year, this is a true story, that went up in the mountains, that all he did was bang livestock all summer long. Went through like 16 chickens, 10 dogs. True story. This guy's a legend
You
upstate
still
New York.
talk to him on...
You knew this person.
I knew this guy. God's honest true story.
He's running for the Senate in Minnesota right now.
This is really troubling, Sid.
God's honest truth. I know
when you get the chicken in the room, what happens then? I mean, maybe this guy could have shed some light on that.
You give the chicken a little wine.
No, you don't.
Sure,
I mean, do you talk to the chicken?
No, because the chicken usually not going to answer you back, Charles.
I understand that. I understand that. You're not anticipating a response, but is there pillow talk? Play music for the chicken.
We play music for the chicken, yes.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
What would you play for the
Oh,
chicken?
the chicken dance. He likes that.
I don't know.
That's how it goes.
Maybe the ketchup song.
I don't know.
What is the fascination with men and farm animals? This comes up a lot in these weird.
You know what it is? I'll tell you what it is.
Wait,
I'll tell you exactly what it is.
Where's Fred? Is Fred on yet?
Any second.
Don't know about this, but afterwards, you don't got to hug them. They don't talk back to you. It's all over.
You just throw them into a ditch.
And
like
they love
this
it.
guy.
They love it. They
Don't have to hold them?
Don't have to hold them?
No, why don't you ask if Fred's appearance is sponsored by a tri-state Jeep dealer? Why don't you ask Fred, Janice?
Fred.
Yes.
What is with the fascination with farm animals and you men?
Man, I don't know what it is. That chicken story scared me, actually.
Yeah, that's not good.
I mean, sheep is one thing, but chickens is...
Why would there be a difference?
Chickens is somebody that's deranged,
Yeah,
you know?
sure. Yeah, sheep is okay.
As opposed to somebody who would have sex with a sheep, right, Fred?
Right, that's fairly normal throughout history, you know? But a guy that would grab a chicken and rent a room...
Would you have to take...
It's scaring me.
See, you don't have to take the sheep to the room. You just do it out in the field.
Right. But, I mean, to rent a room for a chicken when you could do it in your car.
That's what I didn't understand.
I mean, you could set that chicken on your lap.
Well, that's when we know what could happen, Fred.
And just pull off the side of the road, you know?
Sure.
Yeah.
But to rent a room is scary.
That is scary, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Maybe his wife. He didn't want his wife to find out.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. Yeah.
Well,
then if he wanted...
That almost sounds unbelievable, that story.
If he didn't want his wife to find out, then why leave a paper trail by checking into a motel?
Right, with a chicken.
And had to sign the chicken in, you know, so they knew they were there with the
Well,
chicken.
sure, because they're going to say, you know, are you one person or do you have the two parties?
Double occupancy deal?
Well, you'd have to pay about $10 extra for the chicken because it might mess the room up.
I guess so.
How would you know that, Fred?
Oh, just guessing, you know.
Just imagining it.
I'm just kind of guessing what it would cost to rent a room with a chicken, you know.
Fred has more experience with pigs.
This is a disturbing story, but I see more and more of these stories all of the time.
It happens a lot. It's really not that. This is not an isolated case. There is a lot of poultry going on around this country.
You know what?
Serious.
You know what? This is not. Remember the guy on Long Island with the duck?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Remember
okay,
that?
now, duck's different.
Yeah.
You know,
How is that?
okay with the duck, you know.
Why is that? What?
Well, they're just a little bigger, you know.
Next time you go to the Colonel's to get a bucket of chicken, you might want to think about what happened to the chicken before it got in the bucket.
Or duck à l'orange. You know.
Oh, man, 20 minutes after the hour here in the average point program.
Especially if it's extra.
How did you do in your football picks, Fred?
I did. I was 3-1. I'd have been 4-1 if I hadn't listened to Mr. NFL.
The Atlanta pick, right?
Yeah, I had the Atlanta pick. I had that right going in, and Sid knocked me out of it.
You know what's funny?
What?
2 hours later on this show that I do with Jody Mack, I took Atlanta.
You did?
Yeah.
So, yeah, if I'd have had Atlanta, I'd have been 4-0.
Well,
wow.
You know, my wife said, is Jody here yet?
He's in the newsroom right now.
Think they're listening?
Everybody always listens, of course.
Well, not when I go out there. They usually have, you know.
No, they're listening. They are listening.
I'll tell you later.
Particularly now. Now they're really listening.
I'll tell you later then. So.
No, you can't tell me later. You got to tell me right now. You can't do that, man. You can't, because now everybody right now is standing by the
You're
speaker.
always doing that. You can't bring
do
stuff
that.
up like that and then not go.
I hate when
through with
people
it.
do that.
I don't want to hurt Jody's feelings. So.
Jody's.
He's not going to hurt his feelings. He's a stand-up guy. He's a good guy.
He's a powerful
He's a man.
Exactly.
He's a professional. He's a good friend of mine. You're not going to hurt his, unless you say something very nasty.
Oh, I'm not saying. It was an observation that Sid Imus made.
What'd she say?
She said that she didn't think that you needed a partner.
Oh, no, that's not true.
Really?
Jody does a great job. I love working with Jody. Does a great job.
No, I think she meant Jody didn't need a partner. You know, one thing about chickens, just to touch on it briefly.
Yeah.
Those Rhode Island Reds would be, if you were going to make that choice, you'd go for a Rhode Island Red instead of like one of those white leghorns that are kind of bony.
Yeah.
You'd get a plump Rhode Island Red.
Yeah, well.
But I'd just touch on that for a moment.
A fat chicken with little stumpy legs, right?
Yeah, right. Just a little fat, plump chicken.
Big-blooded chicken.
They're the prettiest chicken of all of them, you know.
Are they good looking? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you may have to step it up from like the Motel 6 to the Holiday Inn for that, babe.
What do you like in a nice game, Fred? Who's playing tonight, Mother?
Giants.
Oh, Giants and Eagles.
Yeah, big game.
Giants
Oh, man, that's going to be painful to watch.
Talking about birds.
I think I'd take the Eagles in that one, probably.
They're favored by 6.5 points.
They are?
The game's in Philadelphia.
Oh, you know, I'll take the Giants in the 6 points. 6.5.
Well,
They usually play pretty tough on, man. Giants and Eagles usually
they
very
do.
close game.
I'm taking the Giants in the 6.5 points.
I think that's a good pick. I'm with Fred on this one.
Yeah.
I think the Eagles will win, but I don't think they'll cover the 6.5 points.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah.
What else going on in the world of scum, Janice?
With Halloween coming up this week, the popular costume that all the kids are wearing, Martha Stewart.
What?
Complete with prison outfit and ball and chain. What's Wyatt going as?
I like that. Wyatt doesn't go trick-or-treating.
Oh, he doesn't?
No.
Why not?
Because he's not into that.
I want to take him out trick-or-treating this
Oh,
year.
no.
I want to go out there and take him.
No, you're not taking anybody anywhere.
If you ask Wyatt if Uncle Sid could take him trick-or-treating, I guarantee he says he wants
You
to
would eat
go.
all his candy.
Maybe. But I want to take him out. I'm dead serious. I want to take Wyatt trick-or-treating.
He's been so brainwashed to this point that he wouldn't eat the candy. I guarantee
Right,
it.
so there'll be no danger here. I just want to take him around, put him in an outfit, and take him around for the day. Can I do that?
No.
I am volunteering my services.
But they're rejected. This is out of hand.
How do you know? His mother didn't reject me yet.
Well, believe me, I have a pretty good idea.
What do you mean? She said Jody doesn't need a partner.
Come on. Yeah, so
Wake up.
At least you'll be free. 24 after the hour.
Please help me, I'm falling in love with you. Close the door to temptation. Don't let me walk through. Turn away from me, darling. I'm begging you to. Please help me, I'm falling in love with you. Imus in the morning.
Time for another Imus Morning Healthcare Highlight from Hackensack University Medical Center. Metropolitan areas.
Tell your story.
Sports.
I'm gonna tell you about my town. I'm gonna tell you a big fat story, baby. I'll talk about my town. Yeah, down by the river. Down by the banks of the river, Charles. Ah, that's what's happening, baby. That's where you'll find Imus in the morning.
Let me tell you, at Nissan, friction rubs us the wrong way. It slows down the engine. That's why the pistons that put the Nissan Maxima on Ward's 10 best...
They're kissing up to Sid is lame. You've been patient, but she's not getting any better. As for Sid, it's only a matter of time before he does something so egregious that he will self-destruct, which is, of course, the theory of Mike Francesa.
Yeah.
Right.
Mike's wrong about that, too.
We subscribe to it, so.
Well, you're all wrong. And let me tell you what's going to happen here with me.
Yeah.
My family, the Rosenberg bloodlines right now, are so strong in this country. Between me, on this program, the Imus in the Morning Show, the greatest program in the history of radio, television, any media, and my cousin, well on his way to a senatorial victory in Minnesota, and one day will be the president of the United States of America.
Norm Coleman.
The Rosenberg bloodlines
He's got to
are
lose the
stronger.
Fabian hairdo, by the way.
What?
He's got to lose the Fabian hairdo.
President
Fabian.
Norm.
Huh?
President Norm.
Wait, you're going to make fun of my cousin's hairdo?
Yeah.
Some of the nitwits that you bring on this show that pose as senators, from Domenici to Hayworth to Watts, and these guys who couldn't hold a candle to my cousin, who is...
Watts was a congressman, by the way.
Same thing. One of the great speakers.
Not the same thing.
Well, they got voted on, right? Somebody voted him into office?
Well, they could say that about the dog catcher.
Well, so have you listened to some of these guys on the show lately?
Yeah.
My cousin is one of the great speakers, one of the great orators in this country.
He's got to lose the bouffant hairdo. You know.
Listen, it's not about the hair. It's about what he can do for this country. He's the right man for this job.
I mean, he looks almost like Elizabeth Dole.
He looks like a pretty boy hairdresser. Is what
Yeah,
he looks like.
absolutely. It looks like he either will, enact a law or rearrange your furniture.
He's a good-looking kid. He's got a beautiful wife.
I'm sure he does.
Lori. Bernie saw Lori this weekend on television.
Mm-hmm.
Gorgeous girl, dancer from Broadway. He's got two beautiful children. Here's
what we're going to find out. When will Norm be on, Bernie?
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
We're going to find out, we're going to just try to determine here just how actually close you are.
Very close.
Well, we'll see.
Very close.
Well, what is he, like your mother's sister's son or what?
That's exactly right. Norm is the oldest of 8 children, and his mother, Beverly, is my mother's sister, my Aunt Beverly. And Uncle Norman, who is Norm's father, that's why he's Norman Jr., Norman Coleman, and we couldn't be closer.
Right.
And as we speak, by the way, I'll tell you how close we are, okay?
Right.
Friday afternoon, I find out Wellstone got tragically killed. It's a terrible story. I call my dad. I say, Dad, Wellstone just got killed. He goes, no kidding. I go, how do you not know this? Where are you? He goes, I'm in Duluth. I go, you're in Duluth? He goes, yeah, me and Mommy flew out last night because tonight's the great debate between Wellstone and Norman. I go, well, I got news for you. There's no debate tonight.
Yeah.
He was actually in Duluth, Minnesota Friday morning, my mother and father, for Norman's debate for Friday
I
night.
talked to your parents. I'm sure they're lovely people, but they didn't strike me as people who had just come from a Mensa meeting. You know what I'm saying?
You know,
Sounded
my
like
father
they could have come direct from Allenwood, however.
Yeah, yes, they revealed themselves to be as morally and ethically challenged as you are.
Wait a second. Let's not confuse morals with intelligence. If I told you what my father did for a living, you're going to be very, very impressed. Very impressed.
Okay.
My father was a chemical engineer, also a nuclear physicist.
Right.
Now, let me tell you something.
And I'm a heart surgeon. Dr. Guida and I will be performing some.
Exactly.
I'm at Cornell today.
Sure.
I'm going down to Nassau next week.
Stop it. It's a true
Get
story.
that rocket launched up there.
He really is. He's a chemical engineer. He went to Drexel. He's a brilliant, brilliant man.
So nuclear
brilliant
physicist.
man.
Sounds like
Yes.
a drug dealer.
Your dad.
Yes, a nuclear physicist. My father. That's right.
What happened then?
So what?
Were you adopted?
Yeah, what did happen?
Some of those chemicals he brought home, you were eating them.
What's the deal?
Pick him up off the floor.
He dragged in radium on his shoes or something? And
When was the last time you talked with Norm?
Friday night. He was all shooken up after Wellstone died. I spoke to him.
Yeah.
In his house. In his house was my mother, my father, my Aunt Beverly, my cousins Candy and Sid, Norman.
I wonder why Elvis didn't record that way, all shooken up.
all shooken up?
What'd I just say?
He was all shooken up.
Yeah, but his dad's a chemical engineer.
That's right.
You're really
nuclear physicist.
And whatnot.
Yeah, well, whatever.
He's a rocket launcher.
Point is, I spoke to Norm on Friday night. Doesn't get much closer than that. Only 6 hours after Wellstone tragically passed away.
Is he
I was on the phone.
denying any culpability in the...
My
this whole
cousin?
thing? Yeah.
Oh, come on now. Come on. Of
Yeah,
course not. No.
No?
I actually, I thought he'd be in a better mood on Friday night because I figured the race was over at that point, but he was actually very upset. And you got Walter Mondale may sit in for this thing, and he's done. He's over. He's 75 years old. You can't vote for guys like that.
Well,
What do you mean, well?
well, I mean, I
I
agree.
When Norm comes on, you need to be overwhelmingly endorsing him. You need to, you have to get in bed with this guy.
Well, I do support Norm.
How much, though?
Well, I don't vote in Minnesota, so... I'm not presumptuous enough to try to tell the people of Minnesota how to vote.
You wouldn't do that?
Get a Coleman for Senate button.
Yeah.
I'm going to wear it. I'm a cowboy hat.
Will you wear it?
Oh, absolutely.
If I get you a Coleman for Senate button, you'll wear it.
Yes.
Damn right.
And you will if I get you a Coleman for Senate bumper sticker, will Brandt put it on the car?
No.
We need to take back the Senate from the Democrats.
Thank you.
We're not putting bumper stickers on a car.
A Coleman for Senate T-shirt, Wyatt size. Wyatt wears it.
No, he's not. No.
That's not going to nuts.
No.
He'll think it's for his mom.
So all you're going to do is wear a button?
We'll bring in a Coleman lantern. We'll light the...
Yeah, how about that?
How about that?
That'll work. Will you go on Larry King sometime this week and tell the world that Norm Coleman is the right guy for the job?
No.
Will you go with Tim Russer on Meet the Press sometime in the next couple of weeks before the election?
No.
So what are you doing exactly for him? What exactly are you going to do? I told Norm.
First of all, I have more people listening to this program that watch Meet the Press or listen to Larry King.
Well, I understand that.
How about that?
Yeah, so...
Well, I'm just looking for you to branch out as much as possible. We need you, man. The family needs you. We love you, We love you.
You are such a horrible, horrid person. It's just... It makes my skin crawl. I would frankly rather check in a motel with a chicken and have to talk to you much longer here.
Trivia question for you. Which Honda dealer is the only dealer to be a 6-time winner of America's Honda's prestigious...
To be introducing myself, I'm the man all you infidels love to hate. I've been around for so many years, way before my bloody invasion of Kuwait. I've been around since Senior Bush tried to rid the world of me, although in vain. Now I'm taunting Junior as he tries to say the honor of his family name. Pleased to be meeting you. Hope you guessed my name. I'm not double and drinking fine champagne. While outside my native country smolders, I'm smoking Cubans, grilling antelope steaks. Assassination Day, who don't obey? Wearing Pierre Cardin and a black beret. Read the reviews, all say I'm insane. But you already knew I'm the butcher of Baghdad Hussein. I massacred Shiites and Kurds. I'm the Alibaba of the coup d'etat. I shouted out who tried to kill Abdul Karim when all along it was just little old me. I led in United Nations inspectors and they can search all freaking night and day. But they won't find any weapons of mass destruction because I've stalled long enough to hide them all away. Pleased to meet you. Don't forget my name. I'm the mother of all what's bugging you. You can call me Saddam Hussein. Oh, yeah. Get out, baby. Pleased to meet you. Scott's coming your way. A little gift from me to you, to the great Satan of your pal Hussein. Pleased to defeat you. Hope you're all ashamed. And as I'm conquering you, let me hear you say my name. Do you say my name? Come on, say my name. Let me say my name. Saddam Hussein. Imus.
Copyright 2002, Infinity Broadcasting. All rights reserved. Imus in the Morning is a presentation of WFAN and Westwood One Entertainment.
Want to sit in the WFAN power chair and host your own show? Then listen to Imus in the Morning between 8 and 9 a.m. Mac and Sid at 11:30 a.m. and Mike and the Mad Dog at 2:30 and 5:30 p.m. for a chance to win $1,000 and be in the running for this one-of-a-kind grand prize as part of our Grand Slam fantasy here on your flagship station for New York sports. The Fan, Sports Radio 66, WFAN New York, an Infinity Broadcasting station. WFAN 2020 Sports.
Good morning, 10 o'clock. This is John Minka.
Sugar's got to respond to this. I was the underboss in the beginning, and I moved up to the captain, and I became a general. He's a punk. Recalling his days on Suge Knight's Death Row and Master P's No Limit labels, quote, and now I'm the mother effing boss, so I paid the cost to be the boss. It speaks for itself. You ain't no boss. You're still a little punk. There you go. Sugar's got to deal with this dude. That's all I'm saying.
He's got to take his thumb out of his mouth and get busy.
Yeah, he's got to. Sugar's got to. You can't allow this to happen. I mean, you just can't.
You got to uncoil from that fetal position.
Yeah, I mean, got to put down that primal scream.
Have some body.
Start getting busy. It's 7 minutes after the hour. We got so much good stuff. There's so much. You know, the problem is that there's so much good stuff on this morning's program, I can't get to all of it. I've been trying to. I got to Brokaw's book earlier this morning. I've got to get to that. So, but let's do some news quickly, and then we'll try to get to that and see what's going on here. Federal authorities reported that they plan to bring charges against suspects John Allen Muhammad and John Lee Malvo. It could happen as early as today. A senior Justice Department official says prosecutors will bring federal charges in Maryland. Muhammad and Malvo could be charged with committing murder as part of an interstate extortion scheme. The federal charges, and that would be a crime that also could carry the death penalty. They already face murder charges in Maryland, Virginia, and Alabama, and now authorities in the state of Washington, as we were discussing earlier, say the pair are suspected in the shooting death of a 21-year-old Tacoma woman and a shooting at a Tacoma synagogue where no one was hurt. The decision to file federal charges doesn't mean federal prosecutors will automatically hold the first trial. The site of the first trial still is something that is being determined, has not been decided as yet. And Let's see what else here. A Jordanian group says it killed an American diplomat. Yesterday's story, I-Man, to protest U.S. support for Israel and the bloodshed in Iraq and Afghanistan. The claim comes in a statement sent by a group that calls itself the Honorables of Jordan. Went to an Arabic daily in London. But Jordanian security officials dismissed the claim. Lawrence Foley, as you remember, was shot to death yesterday as he was leaving for his work at a U.S. aid agency in the capital of Amman. And the National Transportation Safety Board continues to search for the cause of the crash that killed Senator Wellstone. NTSB investigator Frank Hildreth says it doesn't look as though the flaps on the aircraft were responsible for a change of direction that the plane took before it went down. Says the plane's propellers and engines will be sent to the manufacturers for further examination. With the elections just a week away, President Bush spending considerable time on the campaign trail trying to help Republicans retain control of the House and, of course, gain control in the Senate.
We have America Online Instant Messaging available here in the Imus Morning Program. The America Online Instant Message address for me is Imus, IMUSWFAN.com. This from some moron. CNN is reporting that Senator Paul Wellstone's family has refused to allow Vice President Dick Cheney to attend the memorial service. Have you heard that?
No.
Vice President is also the President of the Senate, which we know that. Tell Margaret Carlson that President Bush can afford to spend more time campaigning than Bill Clinton did, because when Bush is in the Oval Office, he's taking care of official business, not eating pizza and getting BJs.
True.
Could Margaret Carlson ever be a more pompous a-hole? She is such a phony bee. What is she saying now? She's being called the same thing as Suge Knight is.
Oh, man.
That's not good.
No,
just leave Margaret Carlson alone.
She wants to murder somebody.
Who cares about some low-rent rap clown anyway? Well, I do. I like Suge Knight. And Suge, because I'm down with Suge, that's all. We just need to clear up some things, find out what's happening on the road, find out when Crooked Eye album is going to be out. I'd like to ask him about that. And other things. Now, I was reading Lou Gerstner's book last night, Who Says Elephants Can't Dance, which is an account of his tenure at IBM, I remember at the time when he took over, Charles and I was saying, how is this guy going to be able to, how is anybody be able to because publicly IBM was in a lot of trouble then. And have something to do with mainframes and other junk I don't care anything about. You don't either. But it's just the story itself. And if you run a pizza joint or a dry cleaners or a gas station, you can learn stuff from how to run your business just by reading this book. I mean, I don't have any interest. I don't even know Lou Gerstner. I don't have any interest in it. Obviously, I don't even know the publisher. It doesn't make any difference. But, I mean, I looked up, it was midnight reading this guy's book. That he wrote himself, he says. But when Lou Gerstner took over IBM, it was a mess. I didn't realize I had no idea what a mess it was. I guess he didn't either. But he walked into the Armonk headquarters there, and it's just a disaster. You know, and they were referring to him as a cookie monster because he'd come from RJR Nabisco, right. And, you know, he had to go in there and change the culture. Get the liquor back on the corporate jets.
Yep.
So you could relax a little bit.
Absolutely. Have a cocktail.
I mean, I don't drink, but I'm not against people who do. I mean, you can have a couple cocktails if you can, you know, not wind up peeing on yourself. I think it's And then I turned to Tom Brokaw's book. It's a memoir. A Long Way from Home. Growing up in the American heartland.
Yep.
And I thought, well, this is great, because I love Tom Brokaw. I really do.
Yep.
And I have great admiration and respect for him. And he dedicates it to his mom. I thought that was nice.
Yeah.
Then I began to read, I always read the acknowledgments. And I read, over the years, this is Tom, over the years as I've shared stories of my South Dakota boyhood and family history, friends have often said, when are you going to write that in a book? And I thought,
they did? Okay.
I want a list of those friends who said that. I want sworn affidavits, notarized statements submitted of the number of people who said, once he told one of those hideous stories he is about growing up in South Dakota, who said, when are you going to put that in a book? The only person who said that was his editor over there, after he'd written 3 other bestsellers. Let's wring something else out of us, and wring another one out of this poor bastard. Anyway, I can't tell you how often friends have said, when are you going to write that in a book? An idea I have successfully resisted until now. I worried, writes Mr. Brokaw, that such a book could be seen as simply an exercise in vanity, rather than, as what I hoped it would be, an attempt to document the manner in which I was raised in the America of the post-World War II years. Let's try to get a connection with the greatest generation here if we can.
Just did it.
I wanted to get beyond an anchorman's inflated sense of self-importance. And he has in parentheses an oxymoron, question mark, and express my gratitude to the people who raised me and to the character of life in the American heartland from which I have drawn so much.
There you go.
Email them. Email them, Tom, and tell them. Call them up. In any case, I laughed out loud at this. In any case, this is a book about my life until the age of 22 when I left South Dakota. I thought, oh my God.
Yep.
We've got two more.
We sure do.
We've got, until I left my anchor duties at KNBC in L.A. So we've got that. Then we've got the White House correspondent years.
Yeah.
We've got the Today Show years. And then we got now.
Oh, man.
I mean, how do you deal with that?
It's a great story of growing up out there, gazing across the plains, the waving fields of whatever.
And he's not one of those people who, whenever he goes back home, they say, well, when are you going to move back? He doesn't want to move back, and that's fine. But we'll have him on. We'll talk about the book. We'll do everything we can to sell the book, and then we'll leave it at that.
Interesting. High school, meeting his high school sweetheart with whom he remains today.
Been married to Meredith Brokaw for 40 years.
Starting guard, starting something.
Played basketball. He was. They didn't retire his number, he says, but then that's fine.
Played football, quarterback. But
on 16 after the hour, here's Kelly O'Donnell, who's out in Minneapolis. Good morning, Kelly. How are you?
Good morning. You're dissing my managing editor there. Be careful.
Hey, no, we're not dissing him.
You're teasing him. You're teasing him.
This